Welcome to another episode of Setting the Score by Rexona Season 2, your go-to sports show where we debate the most important topics in NBA basketball. Every week, expect the hottest takes presented by new Rexona Ice Cool, now with anti-stain technology. Now, as the season draws so close, all eyes are on Lebron James and his impending free agency. So today we will discuss this. Stay or go? Where will LeBron James land next season? And today we've got another special episode because we will have four guest analysts defending their sides as Team Stay and Team Go. You too can join the conversation and sending us your comments by using the official hashtag The Score by Rexona. Well, for our 8th episode, we will have sports anchor and analyst Mix Bustos and Christian Luanzon. And joining them today is former Ateneo Lady Eagle and Perlas Pilipinas national team member Danica Jose, as well as former UAP courtside reporter and radio jock Bea Fabregas. Now, for today's discussion, debating for Team Stay is Migs and Danica, habang sa Team Go naman sina Christian at Bea. Boom.
Already? Boom na
Okay. So let's get it on, guys. LeBron James just had a career-high season, but it wasn't easy carrying his team all the way to the finals. And now there are rumors, and he has also fueled that by really being very vague, that the King is weighing his options in free agency. Now, why do you think he will stay in his hometown of Cleveland? Let's start with you, Migs and Danica. Go ahead.
All right, Danica, go ahead.
Okay, so since everyone has been comparing him to Jordan and Kobe as being the GOAT or greatest of all time, why don't we start with that? So, Jordan and the Bulls had to lose to the Pistons for 3 straight years, from 1988 to 1990. And then come 1991, they became champions. They finally defeated the the Pistons. And not to mention the Lakers. The loss of the Lakers to the Celtics from 2008 spurred them from winning back-to-back titles. Sabi pa nga ni Kobe, it was his favorite championship of all time, that he got the redemption that he wanted when he beat the Celtics in 2010.
Right.
I guess all I'm saying is, why does the best player of the team have to leave when in fact you can rebuild the whole team around you, around LeBron James?
Because he wants to be in a better franchise.
Yeah, and they're already spending so much anyway. So, like, how are they going to rebuild? Am I correct? I think the Cavs are spending the most money at this point. They spend more
Payroll,
than the
yeah,
Warriors
since
on
last
their
year.
payroll. So how do you rebuild that team?
Pero alam mo, I think to go with Danica's point, it's not just really about the players. Yun yung laging pinag-uusapan natin. It's all about the coaching. It's all about the philosophy. When Michael Jordan won that championship, he had to go through 7 years first. Phil Jackson was there.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah.
Don't tell me
Kobe
that.
won a ring with Phil Jackson.
We
Oh, come
all
on.
know sa Cavs, okay, the coaching was subpar this season. I think everybody
That's why
would
that
agree.
adjustment needs to
Okay.
be done.
So,
Yes.
well, it depends. Kahit na magpalit pa sila ng coach, tulad nung sinabi ni Bea kanina, cap space is gonna be a figure. It's something na ayaw natin pag-usapan as fans,
Yeah.
but that's the reality.
It's a reality.
It's a reality, but, you know, they have the 8th pick. They were expecting a top 3 pick because of that Celtic trade, kay Kyrie, one of the worst trades ever. Okay? And then they basically got nothing for it. So, si LeBron, hindi niya nakakayanin na dadalhin ulit yung team niya on his shoulders coming into his 16th season. And kung kayanin niya man, okay, kakapusin ulit siya, he would be 3-6. So he clearly has to go.
Okay, para formal natin na i-transfer yung discussion. Okay, guys.
Okay.
For Christian and Bea naman, why will LeBron leave Cleveland? Aside from, you said, the cap space, not a great coach, and where can he go?
Okay, I'll start first by saying, didn't we just see so much effort? I mean, 51 points in game 1, and then you have a blunder like J.R. Smith. I mean, it's the finals, and your teammates are not on point. This is so frustrating to watch, and I'm not even like a massive LeBron fan. I really think that he should go to a team where, you know, obviously he won in 2016 with Kyrie. He won in Miami with Wade, with Bosch. He needs these players that will help him out. As much as he's amazing, 51 points, he still lost. I think that's like the highest amount of points anyone's like score in the
At
playoffs
33
and
years old.
still lost.
Yeah.
My goodness. So he needs to go somewhere where he's gonna get help, and great help, and I think just smart players all around.
All right, so we'll talk about, maybe for me, in terms of defending the first point of Danica. Let's talk ideal first. Without the cap space, without the technicalities, do you really want a player to jump ship every time? Go to the players where they are needed the most.
Well, that's
You
where I'm
always-
gonna disagree. Because
No,
hindi mo
but at the
pwedeng
same-
sabihin na without the cap space. Because that's
They-
part of
kaya
the equation.
hihimayin nga
Oh.
natin muna, hihimayin nga
Okay,
muna
yeah,
natin.
ideal.
He already jumped.
But
So he's not
ideally-
in Cleveland. Like, there's nothing to keep. There's
But do
no
you want that
legacy.
to happen again?
And this is going to be the second jump.
Yeah, it's like, okay, just
We don't want that to happen to one of the
third.
best players.
Oh, the third.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you,
The
TJ.
third. Thank you,
Yeah.
TJ. For
Jumbo.
one of the best players in the world at 34, kakayanin na ba yung mga hanash na yun?
Yeah.
Kakanayanin na
Which
ba
gives
yung
him
mga
all the
haters na
reason
yun?
to cement his legacy.
Kailangan
Sige,
pa ba niyang
ito.
pagdaanan yun?
Christian,
Yes,
Yes, natin
yes,
where
kuya.
he can go as well. Para may listahan ka dyan, di ba? Yung sino ba yung pwede niya puntahan? Sino
Ayan na.
Ah, sige, ayan na. Parang automatic naman.
Ay, naka-Lakers jersey ka, so mukhang yan ang kinakampanya mo.
come on, Christian, let's do this.
Well,
Ano mga listahan
Well,
natin?
okay, top 3. I think even though I'm wearing obviously a Lakers jersey, okay, because the Lakers have the best chance in terms of cap space to land 2 superstars.
Yeah.
Okay, they're gonna open up about 65 million
Ang
in terms
yaman
of
po ng
cap
Lakers.
space. Okay,
Ah.
you talk about guys like Brook Lopez. They're not gonna sign him. I think it goes down to what happens if they trade Luol Deng, and if they sign Julius Randle. Okay, if they trade probably a Kuzma for somebody aside from the signing of Paul George. Okay, but I think realistically and without being biased, I think the front runners are Houston and Philly.
Yeah.
Okay, which I think would also be a great fit for LeBron, and I'll get to that point later. I think with Houston, Chris Paul, he's gonna have to take a big discount. Second thing, they're gonna sign Clint Capella. He's probably gonna have to take lesser money than because he's up to for extension also. But they have a great GM there in Daryl
And the
Morey.
Banana Boat reunion. If
Right,
he goes
in
to
Chris
Houston,
Paul, yeah.
Chris Paul and LeBron. Yeah, there we go.
And I think he would be a great fit. Because people said last year, Chris Paul traded to Houston, diba? They won't coexist because both are dominant players, ball dominant. And then idadagdag mo pa si LeBron. But I think he needs a guy like Chris Paul, aside from the relationship. He needs a guy that has a strong personality, that he could give the ball to. Para si LeBron, mag-focus na lang sa scoring. Gusto niya
Yeah.
kasi gawin lahat eh.
Yeah.
I mean, even though he can, pero, I think if he concentrates on scoring, imagine if he concentrate on scoring alone.
He just has to focus
You just
on,
said
yeah.
51.
Exactly.
He could score probably 60. Okay? 60 in a finals game, even
That's
with
not
Chris Paul and
impossible.
James Harden.
Absolutely, yeah.
With
Okay,
Philly,
Bea, para sa'yo naman, I'll jump in, Christian, ha?
Okay, go,
Si Bea
go.
naman, alam natin lahat, big Spurs fan yan. Nabanggit na rin yan. If you've seen the memes, in fact, one of the memes I saw today was him looking at a Spurs jersey amidst the whole closet
saw
of
that.
all these options. It's gonna be tough for that to happen, though. But theoretically, would you want to see a LeBron James join the Spurs with Kawhi Leonard, with LaMarcus Aldridge, and Manu and Tony, the rest of the guys there?
It is a very different Spurs team that we are looking at these days. We did see, and I say that because there was that whole, interesting hullabaloo with Kawhi. Nobody really knew what was going on. There's no more Duncan. We don't know if Ginobili is, going to be playing. I mean, maybe he should rest. Or maybe he should still play. We're not sure. And, there's rumors that Tony Parker, won't, he did say himself, I don't see myself, necessarily finishing my career as a Spur, but I'd like to. So it's a very different Spurs team. So if you throw in LeBron James with Popovich, why the heck not? You know what I mean? And I can't believe that I'm saying this in 2018, because if you asked me this, obviously, like years ago, I would be like, heck no.
It's not gonna happen.
It's not
Yeah.
happening. I do not want LeBron James wearing, of course, a Spurs jersey. But if you ask me now, why not? I mean, and I have to bring it up, DJ. I have to bring it up. The Golden State Warriors, I mean, winning the finals 4-0. This has to be stopped. Like,
Di ba matake?
we need somebody to come up with a solution
Pang-best actress ang hindi reaction.
for the
Oo,
Golden
talaga.
State Warriors.
Feel na damdam.
Yeah, because I mean, come on, as
naman.
fans, how did you enjoy a 4-0 sweep in the finals?
So narinig niyo yan, ha? Totoo naman. Ibig sabihin, nag-agree sila. Sa go na rin sila.
Oh.
Then,
Okay, balikan natin ang-
Agree with
Golden
that.
State namin.
Migs and Danica, na you touched on it a bit already on some ideas why he should stay. Now, how can they make it work? And Migs, you touched a bit on the coaching and as well. Pero we know the one given is that they don't have cap space, so they cannot bring in another free agent. But there are trades they can make. They have the number 8 great pick. They can still trade Kevin Love. He's been rumored to be traded for the last 4 years. He's been there anyways. So Migs and Danica, for you guys, how can the Cavs make it still work and make it enticing enough for LeBron to re-sign? And he can still get the most money, actually, if he re-signs with them.
Well, with regards to Christian's point, he was mentioning na LeBron James bagay sa Houston, magkakasama si Harden and Chris Paul and LeBron James. But my question is, why can Chris Paul go to the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron instead? So, what I'm saying is, Larry Nance is already a good forward. He just needs to build his confidence as a forward. They also have Green, who is also a good player that needs to be built, and he scores 14 points per game during the finals, and he just needs to be maximized as a player as long as they have a good offensive system. And of course, we also have Love, who's also an all-star. So lahat na nagsasabi na kailangan ni LeBron ng katulong, everyone's there. And if we put Chris Paul in and we trade...
Well, ideally, we get to trade Thompson, J.R. Smith, which is medyo down ng value ngayon.
Two bad contracts.
Yeah, I know. Jordan Clarkson, George Hill. Pero what we're saying is, nandyan na sa harapan mo eh.
Yes.
Nasa mga mata mo na, bakit mo pa siya pakapakawalan? Yun nga, we're very passionate on making LeBron stay because Rodney Hood is also a good player. Hindi lang siya na-utilize masyado. But then yun, ba't di mo na lang ba't di mo na papuntahin si Chris Paul? Ba't di mo na lang papuntahin yung mga players dito? You're basically the GM anyway. Make a good coach come to your system. And at the same time, for me, it's a malaking disparity ang naging offensive system ng Golden State and Cleveland in the finals because you can see Golden State's offense is like a modern triangle. Everybody gets to hold the ball. Everybody's doing down screens. But then for LeBron, he needs to defer to someone who has that kind of system. He needs to defer to somebody he will respect. He needs to defer to somebody. Kahit pumunta pa siya sa Spurs, pumunta pa siya sa Lakers, kung hindi nire-respetuhin yung coach, hindi nire-respetuhin yung teammates niya, wala ring mangyayari.
Don't talk to me about respect, okay? Because I tell you, even last year, okay, and obviously this is just my opinion, but I think last year, before the season started, okay, nawala na yung respeto ni LeBron, okay? Number 1 kay Dan Gilbert. Okay.
There's a bad relationship.
You can treat it, it's a fake marriage. You know, LeBron, he's been there 11 of the 15 years, first 7 years, and then 4 with Miami, and then the last 4 with Cleveland. Heck of a player, franchise player, greatest player in Cleveland history. Dan Gilbert took over 2005. Okay? So you could say that dapat ngayon maganda na relationship nila. But it's a fake marriage. You agree?
Didn't he just
It's a fake
fire,
marriage.
like,
Okay?
Kasi dapat siya na lang makakagawa.
Hold on. Now, to Danica's point on Chris Paul, that's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen.
Because
Go
because Dan Gilbert, because of Dan Gilbert, David Griffin walked away. Okay, and he was a brilliant GM. If David Griffin was here, I think Chris Paul, that would be a possibility. That would be
But
a
he's no longer
possibility,
there.
right?
Yeah.
And because of that, I think that's a major reason. And because of that, the effect was the Kyrie Irving trade. That basically the Cavs, as I said earlier, Bea, they got for nothing out of it. Naging part 2 pa. Diba? They got sila Dwayne Wade and then wala na.
And I mean, talking about Chris Paul, you guys brought up Chris Paul going to Cleveland, but we just witnessed, Houston and the Warriors go to a Game 7, and if Chris Paul wasn't injured, I'm pretty sure that could have gone the other way. So he knows that there is so much going on for him in Houston already. Why would he leave? Plus, he has it's great going on there. He's not gonna take less. So I think parang there would be less adjustment if it would be LeBron going there, and who wouldn't want to play with LeBron?
So sino mag-a-adjust? The greatest player on the planet or Chris Paul?
He's done it before. He's adjusted before.
But
he moved
shouldn't
before.
do it again. He
So,
shouldn't do it again.
siya ang mag-a-adjust.
Okay. Time out, guys. Okay, we gotta wrap it up for our final argument for both your sides. Ano yung huling hirit nyo? Give us your haymaker. Migs and Danica, why do you think that it's imperative that it is
Ready to go
the
for
best
one more
choice for
hour.
LeBron to stay as a Cav?
Well, ako isa lang sasabihin ko, LeBron James is Cleveland basketball. Much like Magic and Kobe are the Lakers, much like Duncan and Parker are the Spurs. So, dapat siya yung king, dapat siya yung pinupuntahan ng players instead of the other way around. You have to build a team around LeBron James and not for the king to go around whichever teams and wear multiple jerseys just because I'm chasing for the ring, right? it's more than the ring chasing. It's cementing your legacy for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
All right, so more than the ring chasing, to add to that, this is more than just basketball. Maybe because Jordan is considered the greatest of all time, he has 6 rings. Bill Russell has 11. But why does 6 matter more than 11? It is because what Jordan has brought to the world. It is because of his influence that made him transcend leaps and bounds. In the 90s, wala pa masyadong technology. In this era, LeBron James touches the lives of everyone in the universe.
Hence, us wearing our jerseys.
Us wearing our jerseys.
Even
It
outside
doesn't
the
matter
crowd.
anymore. Actually, I won't even go technical. TJ, we talked about this last year on the show, that he needs more rings, but he doesn't need more rings. If he doesn't win more rings na, okay lang. He can still be considered as one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, no, I'll
No
agree
question.
to that. I'll
And at
agree
the
to
same
that,
time,
Napa-agree natin si
napag-agree
Christian
natin si
Juan
Christian.
Zalita.
So he doesn't need to go because he has nothing to prove already. And of course, LeBron James, the greatest of all time.
I
Go,
completely
go.
All right, and
disagree.
the other side, your final arguments, Christian and Bea, why do you think that it's time to go and it's better for him to go somewhere else?
To jump off of that, you guys are talking about, him being the greatest player of all time. And you know what? We saw this. It's like we didn't even know that this was possible, but LeBron is getting better. If, he has, these go-to shots that he has. We all saw it in the playoffs. And you're talking about his legacy. He's the king. His legacy goes where he goes. You know what I mean? Yes, it's not about rings. He already has the rings, but it wouldn't hurt, and I'm pretty sure LeBron wouldn't mind getting these rings. He really wouldn't. And I don't feel like when you're talking about Cleveland basketball, LeBron being the face of Cleveland, sure he is, but he already tainted that when he moved to Miami. So I don't really see the big difference here of staying and keeping and struggling and huffing and puffing through another season with Cleveland. So I think he should go, make life easier for him. He's how old is he? 30.
Turning 34.
Turning 34.
Yeah.
There's only a couple of years left, so those should be in his prime where he is just maximizing what he is as a basketball player and then going home and having his beautiful, amazing wine. So, yeah, he should go.
Christian, huling hirit?
Well, to Danica's point earlier, I don't think it's a comparison. She mentioned Kobe. How dare you mention Magic? How dare you mention Magic? How dare you mention Magic and Kobe, who played for one franchise, Tim Duncan, who played for one franchise, Parker, most likely, is going to play for one franchise.
Keep the faith.
It's not a comparison. LeBron jumped ships, okay? Cleveland to Miami, Miami to Cleveland,
And that's it.
And
Okay, we're
Cleveland
done. We're
to
done.
another
We're
team.
done.
Okay?
Jump ship, no more.
So there's no comparison. 2, you mentioned ring chasing. We mentioned this earlier, the realistic situation of Cleveland. Okay? Come on. Last 4 years, yes, they've been in the finals. In the East. Okay? In the East. But this year, we could say, arguably, it's been his most frustrating year.
Yeah, for sure.
And, we say the numbers don't lie, the videos don't lie either.
They barely got out of Boston.
And not only in the playoffs, but since the start of the season. Okay, and it started when David Griffin, left, Kyrie Irving trade. Sure, it was good at first with Dwayne Wade, his buddy from Miami, but it was really a frustrating season. Okay, at one point we were asking ourselves, forget about the finals, but at one point, first half of the season, is this team making the playoffs?
Exactly. We weren't even sure about that.
I don't even know if LeBron wants to be. I don't think he wants to be in that same situation again. And besides, I mentioned the Lakers. Di ba? Kayo, pag magbabakasyon kayo sa States, do you say, I want to go to Cleveland? You say, where do you go? Where do you go?
San Francisco.
You go to
Warriors.
Dalawang bahay ni
He's
LeBron
not
sa
going to
LA.
San
Yes,
No,
2 houses in LA.
Wala pa akong naririnig, ha? Now, I'm gonna book a ticket.
Two
Magbabakasyon
mansions in
ako
LA.
sa Ohio. No way. It's LA, baby. It's LA.
Okay,
Peso
okay,
de
huling hirit na lang. Just to wrap this up, Christian and Bea, I need your fearless forecast. Just one word. Which team do you think is going to end up in?
I want to say Houston. That's
Okay.
what I want to say Houston.
Christian, for you, is it a given with the jersey you're wearing?
Come on.
I
No
would-
bias,
Christian.
no bias.
I would love to say it, but I think on
Vested
the list, the
interest.
Lakers are number 3 to my list.
Okay.
I think Houston, because of Chris Paul, again, their relationship with Chris Paul and their manager, Daryl Morey. Brilliant GM, he's proven it. And I think Philly because of their cap space and because of the talent over there. I think those are the top three teams right now.
Alrighty. Okay, well, kayo naman guys, agree ba kayo sa team stay or team go? Let's take a look at our social media page for some of the comments we picked out for today. Ito, very interesting mga comment ng mga fans natin. Emerson Gentines Castañeda says, when KD left OKC, they say he was a snake. Now, let's see what we got up here if Bron will join the Rockets or Philadelphia. Real king don't need to leave his throne in order to get an MVP title in the finals.
I'm second the motion.
Thank you, Emerson.
You just need to encourage his team to work and play hard for each and every single game. Good luck, Cavs. Hashtag Team Curry Watch. Sabi naman, just in case. Sabi ni, just in case, stay true. Okay, stay. True man stays. True hero never leaves his own land except if he is being thrown out. The coach should
But he already left.
Cavs. You know, the Cavs have limited players. And the last but not least, sabi ni Lorenz John Rute Prairie, kahit anong team pa ang puntahan ni Lebron, kaya niyang dalhin sa finals. Ganyan kalakas si King James. Solid Lebron fan.
Yeah.
Ayan. Salamat sa ating mga friends sa Facebook. And let's take a look now at our social media poll that we had running for a few days and to get our results. And from my last,
57.
not my last prediction, from what I saw last, we have it running at duduling na ako, guys.
So stay.
Nahanap ko yung
Yeah, stay is 57%. Go is 43.
Stay is 57%. And go is?
43.
Ayan.
Yeah, but we have 20% plus so that's really 83%. Okay?
Okay, fine. Alrighty. Well, that's it, mga kaibigan, for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Kapamilya, keep sending us your thoughts and opinions to keep the discussion going on our social media pages. Just use the hashtag #TheScoreByRickSona. Salamat ulit sa inyo lahat. Christian, Bea, Migs, and Danica, thanks so much for joining us. I'm TJ Manoto, all the way here from San Francisco. Tune in again next time for another set of debaters only here on Setting the Score by Ricksona.